Okay, I'm going to kind of quickly go over this, but if you want a more professional and amazing um, tutorial, I'm going off of Vanna's tutorial myself. So she explains it so much better. But I'm going to just show you. I have my backing fabrics, and I have 3 of those. I'm making a flat fold, mounted flat fold, which is on again on Vanna's channel. I have my pages, as she calls them, and I have my fabric bigger so that I can wrap it. I mean, obviously this is the front, but I'd wrap it that way. And I have 3 of those. 1, 2, 3, 3 pages. And then one is going to be the binding page. So I have that one bigger. And again, these aren't straight. I don't know how much you can tell, but I put this piece down, I eyeballed it, and I cut it out. This is not super hard. This I did meticulously measure. I measured the design. I put a 1/4 inch, added a 1/4 inch, and then I gave myself another inch. So I added 1 1/4 inches. I'm sorry, 1.5 inches. I added 1.5 inches on all sides so that I have 1 inch to fold, and then I have a 1/2 inch border here. So and this is my page that I'm mounting that on. You can see that some of let's show you like this. Some of the border will be showing. Some of the fabric. So it doesn't go straight up to, you don't want your design to go, there needs to be a little bit of a fabric edge. You don't want your design to go straight to the edge of the board. So I have already cut this to size and ironed it. I've already cut all these to size and ironed them. And I've also cut these to size. Now these are, again, the same size as, they should be the same size actually. No, they're not. Okay, so this one, see, I'm not good at this, guys. This one gives me a 1/2 inch border all the way around. Now this one will also give me a 1/2 inch border all the way around, because once I have it covered in fabric, you will see the green fabric as a border. Okay. So that's for that one. These are my book pages. Okay. So I have these cut bigger, 1 inch bigger, basically. It's 1 inch bigger all the way around when you look at it like this. I have 1 inch up here, I have 1 inch here. So, and I mean, for this size, you just need to determine what size your pattern is. Once you determine your pattern size, make it 1/2 inch bigger on all sides and go from there. So, and then I have Eileen's tacky glue. And while I'm using it, once I have it open, I do exactly like Vanna does, and I stick it upside down in here. That way you don't have to mess with trying to get it to come down every time. It just sits down there. I also have some spray, some tacky spray. I will use this to mount the book pages on. So I'm going to spray this, make it tacky, then stick this on, and then I'm going to use this glue to border this like this, and I won't do it on this one because we want to leave that flap open. But one thing I did forget, so I'm going to go grab that real quick, is some batting. We need some batting to, I mount a little thin layer of batting so that this is more poofy. So let me go get that and I will be right back. Okay, I went and got the batting. So for this, I'm just using Polyfill Extra Loft. This is in a roll for lap blankets. I don't know, small. You can get it at whatever craft store. It's in a roll, so it's not like loose fluffing for like a pillow. And for size, I'm gonna get my small piece that's for my finish, I'm literally going to just lay this down and cut around it. Hopefully you guys are catching all this. This is my first time ever doing something like this, so I apologize if this is horrible. But again, you want a super professional one? Go watch Miss Vana. She is the expert. Okay, stay. Okay, so then you're gonna want to have some sort of something down. And I have some paper towels. Let me grab some more, actually. Because we're gonna spray this tacky spray. Oh, and then I have some trim too that we're gonna trim it with. This is Lady Dot Creates Barn Door. And that's gonna match nicely with the piece. So, okay, I'm gonna lay some paper towels down because this spray, you don't want this spray on your counter. Okay, that's for that. We're going to actually do the book pages first, not the finished piece. Okay, so grab a big book page, give this a good shake, and just lightly spray it, and you're done. Now, you don't want it wet either. You want it to just be sticky. So you kind of just wave it off a little bit, blow on it, whatever you need to do so that it's sticky but not wet, okay? And then you're going to lay the sticky side down, and you're just going to press that down, press that in. Sorry if you're hearing beeping, that's my phone going off. I'm waiting for the heating guy to come because, which you might also see my oven's open. I'm trying to heat my house. We don't actually have heat going right now. So, okay, so this is nice and sealed on there. And then we're going to take our tacky glue and we're just going to glue down the sides. I'm just going to put some glue down here on 3 of the sides. Just 3 for this back page. This is the page that's got the long top on there. So we're going to leave that one alone. And we just, I mean, this is Simple Simon. This really is Simple Simon. Increase that in. Gotta hold it down sometimes. You just gotta rub it in. Add more glue where necessary. If it's not sticking, more glue is your friend. And then you're gonna go over to the opposite side and do the opposite side. And with this, I mean, with this side, you don't have to worry about it being straight because nobody's gonna see this. We're gonna put another piece right on top of this. Nobody's gonna see this. Now for this, we wanna kind of bring those edges in ever so slightly. Bring an edge in. See if you can see that. So I kind of folded them in just a little bit so that way when we come over, we don't have our edges hanging out. And you'll need to add more glue on top of the fabric here. Oh, see, I didn't follow my own rule. I didn't put my glue back in my jar. And that's why we do that. Oh my goodness, come on. There we go. There, now put it in the jar. So we don't have to wait for the glue to come down every time. Okay, I'm gonna put a crease in this up here. And I kind of folded it in a little bit. You'll notice it's in a little bit. And I'm just hand pressing this. I'm not ironing this or anything else. We're going to leave it like that. We're going to leave that side like that. Okay? So we have our back page done. Now let's spray another page. And I may cut off here and come back once I have all of these glued down. Okay, I'm back. And I've got all 3 of my book pages now. They all look like this on the inside. 3 book pages plus my 1 back page. Okay? This is how they all look. So, your back page. You're going to get rid of these 2. And they're all glued down. Okay? So, this is your back. And you're just going to glue them together, just like this. You're just going to glue them straight together. So, get the edges. You want all the way to the edge. All the way to the edge. Then you just want to go ahead and get all the way across the middle here. Okay. And you're just going to glue them together. And this is going to be the back part of your book. Now, what you want to do here is, and what Vonna says to do here, is to really press them together really, really good. Get them really good and tight, press together, seal these edges in, and then go stick them between some heavy books for a while. I'll be honest, I'm too impatient for that. What I do is I glue these together. I'm going to finish everything else, and then I'm going to put the whole thing between some books, like overnight. And it'll be nice and tight by then. So, there's 1 page. Here's the other page. But we want these to stay together. And if you ever looked at a book, you know, you've got the nice, neat little binding. So what you want to do is okay, I forgot a step. We need to put some ribbon, and that's okay that I forgot a step because guess what? It's still wet. That's okay. Okay, I'm back. I got some little tiny rickrack here, and I'm just going to put this in between because we need something to keep it from falling apart. So I'm just going to cut off a good size piece, and I'm going to just stick this down in there. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue right where I did it. Okay, so now I have that right there in the middle. Now we want this to go in the middle as well. About 1.25 inches. I've got this lined up here. Got this lined up here. And then that way when our book opens, we will have something to stop it from sliding all the way open. So, about 1.25 inches there. We're going to glue this in. Cut off the excess. We don't need all that in there. Okay. We're also going to glue this part in here. So we're going to glue this. So this is the back page. Then I have this one. And we're going to glue this binding in, so this is going to act like our binding. Like the binding of a book. So, see, I'm going to glue that down. I'm going to put this on top. And then our book is bound. So it's bound at the top. We've got this to hold it tight there. And then our finish is going to go right here on the front, mounted. I am no expert at this. Okay. We're just going to glue this flap down. Right up to the edges. And then we're going to put a little bit on the binding as well. Okay. And we're just going to fold this flap over and glue it down. Wipe off that excess glue. Your fingers are going to get really gluey and tacky doing this. So if you're not doing it in your kitchen like I am and have a sink, you might need to have like a wet washcloth, a warm wet washcloth with you so that you can wipe your fingers off. I've been going over to the sink and cleaning my hands off every little bit. So, okay, now we're going to close our book and we're going to put this binding in. If you've got stray little pieces everywhere, just cut them off. If they're hanging out, cut them off. Otherwise, if you can't see them, you can't see them. Just keep pressing them together. If it's coming apart, just keep pressing it together. Like I said, when I'm all the way done with this, I'm going to go and stick it between some books. Now we're going to glue that other last page on before we get ready to make our mounted stitch piece. Okay, so we're going to just glue this on. Okay. It's still really wet. It's still really fragile, but there you go. Stands up, nice and neat. Pretty. There we go. Okay, put that off to the side. Now, we need to get this one done. I'm gonna go wash my hands. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. You want your hands to be nice and clean so that you don't get glue all over the front of this piece here. So, I've got my finished piece. I've got the backing. I've got the batting. We want the batting to stick to this, so I'm gonna spray this. Get it nice and tacky. Should be done with that for now. Again, we don't want it wet, we just want it a little bit sticky. And then we're just gonna stick this down right on top. It doesn't matter that it's not exactly corner edge to edge. It's actually better if it's not edge to edge. That way you can wrap this. Okay. Now comes the fun part of making sure that this is even. We want it to be even on all sides. And again, I've given myself an inch on all sides. So I can take my ruler and I can measure and say, okay, that's 1 inch right there. It's not quite 1 inch, so I need to come over this way. There's 1 inch. That's 1 inch, and that other side should be 1 inch too. We want it to be centered. We want it to be straight. I'm going to grab my top and my bottom. I'm going to fold these sides over. I'm going to crease it. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to look. Before I'm gluing anything, I want to look and I want to make sure that my borders are good. My edges are straight. Everything looks good. So hold it in place. I'm going to glue this down. Again, this finishing style using glue, probably not the best long term. If you want your, nice, super nice pieces to be like acid free and all that good stuff, taking it to a framer, getting it laced, the better option. Michelle does know that I use glue to finish her pieces, and she's totally acceptable with that. So I did make sure that she knew that's what I was doing before I did it. If you're doing it for someone else, you just need to make sure, yep, I finished with glue. Are you fine with that? Yep, okay, then you're good to go. If you're doing it yourself, no worries, as long as you don't care. Hold that down a bit. Okay, now I'm going to fold in my sides. I'm going to flip it over and look again, making sure that everything is straight. I've got the border that I want. Okay. I actually want to come this way a little bit. And this glue is just tacky, so just pull it. If you need to change it, just pull it. It'll come right off and it'll go right back on. It's not permanent. Okay. Yes, that's more centered. Perfect. Keep showing you guys backwards. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm gonna glue in my edges here. And glue them in, slightly turn them in so that when I close my edges, there's not a lot of bulking happening on the corner. And you see that? How it's slightly turned in so that when I go to fold them over, the edges aren't hanging over and I don't have a lot of bulking happening. And I didn't put my glue back in my jar. Make sure when you're pulling it, you are keeping your edges straight. And with Aida, I love Aida because with Aida, you can see the lines and you can make sure that they are straight. Okay. So there you go. Front, back. And we're going to do the other side. So now we've got our piece. This way, this way. Oh my goodness, camera is like different. And it's got a little poof to it. Very little bit, but it's got some poof to it. And then we're gonna mount this on the front of our book, which is coming apart a little bit, but again, I'm gonna put this in between some heavy books once I'm all the way finished and all the pieces can be glued together. So, nope. Almost forgot the trim. Again, this is Lady Dot Creates. Barn door. Oh, and she always gives you a good, healthy amount. So I do not take the tape off of the dots. I use the tape to glue it down. Yep, I'm going to glue that too. I'm going to put glue right on the edge. I'm going to kind of grab it down a ways because I'm starting at the top. I should be starting at the bottom, but it's okay. Okay, I'm back. That was a little bit more fussy than I remember it being. But we've got the trim on there. And on the back, you can just see I glued the edging down to the back of the finish. So from the front, you can't see the edging at all. All you can see are the dots, polka dots. Okay. Now we can mount this to the front of our book. So we're going to just take this and we're just going to get some glue. More glue. All the way around. In the middle. And we're just going to flip it over and we're going to center it. Make sure that you like where it is. Top, bottom, side, side. Looks good. And push it down. Now, it's not going to stick right away because obviously the glue is wet. But, like I said, at least 5 times because I keep repeating myself. I'm going to go stick this between some books. But here we go. There's the finish. It's a cute little finish. It's got the green trim on the bottom to hold it together. Everything good. And we're done. That was pretty easy. Thanks for watching.